Hi everyone, welcome to a sketchbook tour. This is my Fabriano Venezia sketchbook, which you can see from here that I started in January of this year. I got it for Christmas. So here we are, starting off with a painting from one of my favourite films, Evil Under the Sun, and that's done in gouache, and it's quite a nice spread. It's two people arguing. It's one of my favourite films. This is another, the top one there is another one from the same film. It went a bit wrong, so I kind of gave up with it a bit. This is a little painting from Charleston, part of my Substack. And here we've got, I was on my way to London to go to life drawing, and so these are just some sketches I did on the train with my red pen, and then I've used a pencil for drawing Vanessa there. I run a life drawing class up in London. The red ink is just some sketches I did on the train home, and this is from a Pinterest reference photo of Mrs. Patmore and Carson from Downton Abbey. I was feeling a bit creatively underwhelmed, so I did a quick collage using some pieces from Condé Nast Traveller, and oh, here comes my cat in the top there, so I just push him out of the way. And on that page are some cashew nuts in their sort of natural state, which I got from my friend's book. This is a blue throat, a bird, and that's just another collage, just using some leftover paint and some random people I found in Condé Nast. Some trees, trying to find my way around trees, and that's a landscape, which I didn't really enjoy doing, but I did it. And that's another landscape, which also didn't work out terribly well. Here's some hyacinth macaws, because I had some ultramarine that I wanted to use up. So yeah, just some, I love drawing parrots, they're great. This is from a wildlife drawing session about hedgerows. So here I've used grey ink and grey fine liner. We did that quite early in the year, so I wanted it fairly sort of bleak. And these are just some random pencil sketches from the same session. I was trying out some different techniques. This is some leftover gouache with some coloured pencil over the top, and here I've got a tuna fish, which are just the most amazing fish, and just painted in gouache again. Topsy-turvy with the sketchbook. Here are some little egrets that I saw, and I just quite like the sort of abstract view. And here's a couple of albatross, they mate for life, so I've just done again a really sort of abstract simplified version of a couple of albatross. This is from Big Garden Birdwatch, and just some little blue ink birds, which I did as well, just to use up a bit of the space. There's an octopus, as you can see. This is an ink drawing of Charleston. That's Harry the gardener, for my Substack. And this is a picture of some dinosaurs, some T-Rex, just in a kind of suitable prehistoric backing. This is when I met some friends at the British Museum for some urban sketching, and we went and sat by the Nereid Monument. And here is a sculpture from that same exhibition. This is a wall creeper, just because I had some leftover paint of grey and red, so I painted a wall creeper. This is a little diamond domino fish in gouache from a Mossy Earth video, and I didn't like what I'd done over the other side, so I just pasted some paper on and painted over the top. This is a Charleston sketch up the top there, and this is just some coloured felt tips, brush pens that I had. I was just playing around with them. And this one here is a kind of aerial view, and I used liquid earth pigments to paint that. That's a buffalo bison, which went a bit wrong. Head's too small. Anyway, never mind. And these are wildcats from another wildlife drawing session. And that's the centre spread. I did, you might have seen my blog post about that. These are just some random ink drawings that I did. That was on the train up to London, and this is me drawing Wayne at Soho Life Drawing. This is just some pencil sketches. He was amazing, he's a dancer. Some ink sketches there, and this is with a red Pilot parallel pen. There's another one, a Dwayne, a Wild Boar, and Mallow. That's a restaurant I went to, a vegan restaurant in London Bridge. That was a decoration on the wallpaper. And I went there because I was urban sketching, and this is in front of St Paul's, and this is just a street near Cannon Street Tube Station where we went, and that's in red ink, which I was really pleased with. Got quite a lot of likes on Instagram. This is some brown ink that I used, and just random drawings, and this is from Condé Nast Traveller in gouache. This is Wisdom, the albatross who had a chick again this year. She's sort of 75, and these are just some green people. This is another pattern for my Charleston Substack, and this is a wildlife drawing session on vultures, as you can see. So this was a live stream, so some of those are live sketches, other from references. These are some manatees which I drew from an aquarium, and some people, and another Charleston sketch, just some birds in pencil, and some trees in gouache. I was just experimenting with some different shapes and styles. That's just a few random drawings that I did on the train, and then we've got some birds which I drew from the exhibitions at the Natural History Museum. So we've got a dodo, albatross, great auk. There's some rather unpleasant looking people using up some gouache, and this is also gouache, and back to those brush pens. This is a painting I did again for Charleston. It went a bit wrong, so I just collaged a face over the top, more trees, and this is a Hoatzin. Again, I was using up colours on my palette, but they're just incredible birds. That's the cover of a book at my friend's house, and then we've also got some hares. That was a wildlife drawing session, and that's a blue ink hare, which I was really pleased with. And here's some little elephants just in grey fine liner, and that's in a sepia pencil. And these are a polar bear and a harp seal on caddy paper and a muskox. They're all painted in gouache. That's just some random ink and a gouache elephant. And on this page I was just experimenting with doing kind of a background and putting some of my stickers on the top. More random stuff, and a piece from a collage which I never used, and that's a zebra done in the same kind of style as the hare I did previously. These are some green ink trees, and some more just random people and using up old paint. That's another collage, just because I was feeling uninspired, and I find collage which really helps me kind of just loosen up. And those are flowers from Vanessa Bell, again for my Charleston Substack. And these are little sparrows. I just like the colours, and I wanted to do something again there from Charleston. These are some thumbnails, and that I was just looking at, and I actually did that one at the bottom there which I coloured in. Another wildlife drawing. This is from the Cornish Seal Sanctuary, and that's a skeleton that I cut out because I was just quite intrigued to see how they were actually put together anatomically. And there's a gouache painting of a seal, and here's a walrus and a harp seal from the Alaska Sea Life Centre. I quite liked how they came out. So I did a pigeon in the same kind of style, which again, I just quite enjoyed that. And here we are at the end. There's a gouache elephant, and here I was just using up some patterns, paint by making some patterns. Thanks very much for watching.